Zambia, television that changes lives. It is now time for the news. To present it, I'm your anchor, Emmanuel Ryan Daka, and my sign language interpreter is George Kalimukwa. Headlines making news. Continuous rains in Lusaka leave Kanyama drainage blocked as residents endure floods. Government on course with digital national registration process. Traders outside Soweto market endure rains. GC President Dr. Ted Wilson set to visit Zambia. These stories plus more coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
My wife, bumper harvest. Eh?
Daddy,
I'm telling you.
your new fertilizer. Niamini.
Eh?
Daddy,
tell you.
Hello. My instructions.
I say it benefits you and I'm slow.
I went to ETG, and now we are enjoying the benefits of using a blended D-compound fertilizer as basil and Kinoplus as top dressing fertilizer instead of urea that we used last year. Now look here. This year, it has given me 4 tons. 4 tons! But last year, it was only 1.8 tons. Kinoplus has given all my crops the nitrogen that I paid for. Wow. It has saved me money. Telling you.
Understanding the difference between soil and crop-specific fertilizers, therein lies strength for Kinoplus blended fertilizers. More value in a bag. Available in the ETG depots countrywide, with a network providing agronomy services to farmers across the country. Kinoplus. Enhanced efficiency through innovation. A product of ETG.
The drainage system in most parts of Kanyama compound is blocked, leaving most parts flooded, following continued incessant rainfall activities experienced last night. At broadcast time, the rainy water in most homes had ceded, but residents are calling on government to help work on drainage systems, saying the situation as it stands is already out of control. And Chinika Ward 11 councillor has already gone on the ground inspecting and evaluating the affected areas. As short-term solution, he has indicated that first on the agenda is to drain water and commence reconstruction of drainages as soon as possible. Mwane Muyanga gives us the details in this report.
This is the current situation in Kanyama compound after a heavy rainfall last night. Residents have been left in floods as a result of blocked drainages.
Drainage. Paimona manzi yachokera uku yazura manzi. Yasitabwani mwaona. Yachokera uku manzi yabwera hapa. Ndazo mwana mungati manzi hapa yapaka maninga. Chapakira manzi hapa drainage ni ofuasa hii. Vakanso mkalangana kapinga hii yonze kapinga wafanga vachosa wafwa surura manzi yandi. Hii drainage yenda mpaka Makenvira Park ipita so imafuaza futu cha Makenvira Park futu so ifanga ichoka hapa wafua surura vaikonga drainage mwamene endera kwa endo taira manzi
amenshi pote hapa pachiwa amenshi nabana tubana twa skuru twine tunono banyina bokula abe bako bari tushindika kuya ku skuru hapa pachiwa amenshi furu kuyafika kulya konsi so tereromba kubuteko na wena tuwafirishe kwati fuvene pano.
Some parents are worried for their school children as some are forced to miss classes as a result of floods.
Menda wakutola bana kuhigoro. Buyu mundu bete kuhure mukukunya munaso. Kutakaka inde kabo tumutore kujigoro. Kuri menda olo winde ko kusaidi kutala kwalo kuwa kuri mankandya. Winde wa kuri menda kuina kuindika mendaro. Chitandiza ma drainage akasura. Ati furu menda wina akuinda. Pire kuti atamenda twakasaina kaindi kuti atamenda.
Tinaka school hapa bali wana bangono. So manzi hapa kamaninga hapa so tempako che wationereko ka drainage aka. Futi na station pamene hapa tikangi wano sevenza mushemushe. So tupe mpako che batuganizireko che bakanso nabe baganizeko pale drainage bana so akwanisa kuenda ku masukuru babusi.
By broadcast time, Chinika Ward 11 councillor was inspecting the affected areas and has assured the residents of a lasting solution.
Right now, we are doing assessment on the status of the flood in the whole constituency, but also in this ward. And we have observed that what is here right now is a serious challenge. So we need to expedite the process that this matter can be resolved. So this one is one of the areas that is earmarked for us to do the works. We are going to be on the ground on Friday. We are intending to do the drainage here. But even before that can start, we are hopeful that by tomorrow we can bring the pumps to begin to pump this water. The residents got consent, and in the morning they sent to us videos and complaints. So we've been on the ground as early as 7 hours assessing the situation. And we agree with them that the situation is bad.
In the meantime, the residents will have to endure the floods as they wait for a solution. Mwene Muyanga, Hope News, Lusaka.
16-year-old Moses Mwila of Mesisi compound in Lusaka has died from burns he sustained as he tried to steal cables from a ZESCO substation at the University Teaching Hospital UTH last Wednesday. Mwila's condition was described as stable after suffering burns to his face, rear and front parts of his body, as well as his arms, and earlier today he failed to make it after his wounds worsened. He was admitted to UTH from Wednesday and died in the early hours of today. UTH spokesperson Natalie Mashikolo confirmed Mwila's death this morning. It is reported that Mwila had been in the company of colleagues when they attempted to steal from the substation, but they fled after the misfortune. His attempted theft plunged several departments into darkness. In other stories, Department of National Registration, Passports and Citizenship Deputy Project Manager Lisuba Kabanda says government has made progress towards improving the process of issuance of digital national registration cards, birth and death certificates. Mr. Kabanda told Hope News that government is moving in towards providing digital vital documents following the ministerial statement delivered by the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, Jack Mwimbu, in Parliament early last year. He said the new digital advancement called Integrated National Registration Information System, INRIS, comes at the time when the world is migrating technologically from manual processes to digital. He has since called on members of the public to begin registering under INRIS in order to obtain digital national registration cards that will be officially announced in the course of the year.
The INRIS is simply the system that the Department of National Registration, Passport and Citizenship is implementing to improve the processes for issuance of national registration cards and registration of vital events, which includes registration of births, dates, and the issuance of birth certificates as well as death certificates. It's basically about achieving effectiveness and efficiency in the provision of legal identity services in the country. Currently, we've been providing legal identity services using manual processes, and also just the change in technology. We've been using a manual-based equipment to issue national identity documents. So it's time that we also move with the changes in technology by using the digital platforms to provide legal identity services, which should ultimately result in effective provision of legal identity services, as well as reduce the times that clients take to receive those services. So this follows the ministerial statement that was given by the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security in Parliament. That was in March 2022. That's when we kick-started the process of enrollments in the Integrated National Registration Information System. So currently what is happening is that we are deploying the INRIS to different districts so that enrollment in those districts is taking place. We are also using the same system to decentralize the issuance of birth certificates. So in the districts where INRIS has been deployed, birth certificates are actually printed in those districts. Then when it comes to the national registration cards, we've only started with enrollment of citizens in the INRIS as it was indicated by the Minister of Home Affairs, and at an appropriate time the Minister of Home Affairs will come back again and announce the date when we will commence the actual issuance of the new national registration cards.
In other news, street vending thrives amid rainy season with poor sanitation. Street vending has continued in Lusaka's Central Business District following President H. Lema's order to halt the removal of vendors. A check by Hope News at Soweto Market found, as usual, traders trading along the streets despite the rains. In an interview, some traders have disclosed that they are willing to move into any designated place if government will provide habitable infrastructure. Meanwhile, some vendors have described their current trading environment as unhealthy, especially now that the rains have intensified and the council is reluctant in collecting garbage. They have accused some council workers in the area to exhibit bad behavior while carrying out their duties.
Street vending is an important source of livelihood for many Zambians, particularly those who are unemployed or underemployed. These vendors rely on the income they earn from their small businesses to support themselves and their families. However, street vending can also have negative impact on the public health and safety. They told Hope News that government should intervene by providing structures where these people should conducting their businesses.
Nifuna at least government yatutandizirako kuti yatusakira okwina nkugulisa kuchukwa abantu abene bankalira mbali mwa road ipezeka balibeko ma stand maana market inazula niyo zula so abantu baso yapezeka bali mbali mwa road so nanga government yatusakira ko market kwina nkuti abantu baende sometimes kuseni kumankala congestion bakangiwa kupita abantu so kufunika ati batusakira ko market kuti abantu baenda ko somewhere market kuchira kuti bankala mu road kumankala sometimes mamotoka yataninga kuenda kuipa pezeka tingapaye abantu bambiri maningi na doti kunomona ma doti so bibonekera so kufunika at least kolera ingangene in time bantu batate chitaitaye so kuli be cleaning mayo so tupempa ku government yatandizira ku chaweti sakira ko pena ngpa baenda ko market pena ngba libe ko tantika mayo so konso biboneka vifulu doti swabwera yayi Simon swate
pesa twa kanso wazapitamo kupoka ndalama atiora chishala waenda wayora chishala chibini chikuru chiri uko kuja napana twaliramo na mpere zonse zikumanja uko but nabwera ku hospital kutwantandizire anipasa chema panado nonembera munkwala paka pepa tenda kagure kusaka chemist imenza kula bwanji ibendrama chishala niolera 35 kwacha mchione nchikuru navutika natino chitaba chishala pakona uko banyerapo bantu batavosana siana so zikali kukondwera mu life moment nkalira manje kuno dot maningi achiramo so natana taba choko kuja mandu dot akaenda parasi kwa mugulisa chama plastic nizoguza kuna tunsapata pangono so mavuto niyo tukonga pemba ko chitandizo government ngemwenga tanzireko
Tingairishani akofye kulinga na fyenefyo twaikala muno mu market government chichi yatulolekesha kofye pa busaka bantu muno market mwali basani efiko kwa chini muli mwaka tekwa ikala na bakateka mpia tulasonkera kukansoma 5 kwacha every day tulasonkera but kwa chibasaka manopo tulesangwa panchende takuli muno mwine mu market sometimes tulasanga fena abantu nabanya but mulepita po fefilia fini ukwa chibakansola ngutwa ilishanya kwa chimkese tuwamisha ko maneno fo tuikede fyose fyo tabatuwamisha mwamona so fyo tuleshanya ko fyo fule balwekisha ko fyo mulando wa market kwa tuwesangwa musebo mulando kachifine business na ikosa so kwa chinga tuli mukachi ya market mulya techi tushenge fye twingashisha kuno kunse ya market so echisa mukulengo kwa twafuma mukachi mu market mulando wa fintu kushupe mikalile na ishupe mpya na shena na ishupa so nga twaisa kuno kuloje kulepita abantu bose so echalengo kwa twise kuumbali ya road sila ba affected nomba twesa mukushita ma plastic twakwata ma plastic otufimba but business sila ba affected but fuchi mfulanga yapo business sila ba echilengo kwa twaisa kuumbali ya road.
However, some street vendors are certain to vacate the streets on the basis that government gives them proper spaces to operate in the markets. Chamacha Basungu for Hope News, Lusaka.
Basungu brings us to our commercial break. More news coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
Are you looking for a place that sells fresh, healthy vegetables and fish? Well, look no further because New Roberts Fish and Veg Limited has what you are looking for. We have a wide variety of healthy products to satisfy your taste buds and help you in your healthy journey. We have a fully stocked butchery, farm-produced vegetables, and live fish. Yes, you heard me correctly, for that guaranteed freshness. So what are you still waiting for? Call 0976 543 822 or 0955 108 708 or 0965 691 909 or visit Chilenje, which is behind Total Gas Station. Because at New Roberts Fish and Veg Limited, we believe only fresh foods are good enough for you.
My wife, bumper harvest. Eh?
Daddy,
I'm telling you.
your new fertilizer. Niamini.
Eh?
Daddy, my
Tell you.
Hello. My instructions. Maya kunkabuno bwino mwamene.
I went to ETG, and now we are enjoying the benefits of using a blended D-compound fertilizer as Basil and Kynoplus as top-dressing fertilizer instead of urea that we used last year. Now look here. This year, it has given me 4 tons. 4 tons. But last year, it was only 1.8 tons. Kynoplus has given all my crops the nitrogen that I paid for. Wow. It has saved me money. Telling you.
Understanding the difference between soil and crop-specific fertilizers, therein lies strength for Kynoplus blended fertilizers. More value in a bag. Available in the ETG depots countrywide, with a network providing agronomy services to farmers across the country. Kynoplus. Enhanced efficiency through innovation. A product of ETG.
Is the fast-paced world making you miss your favorite Top Story programs? Download the StarTime's own app from Google Play or Apple Store. Then link your decoder to the app and watch TV anytime, anywhere. Open the app and click on Me to sign up. Click the decoder service. Then enter your smart card number and last 6 digits of your decoder serial number and click link. Now you can change bouquet and make payments for your decoder using the app. Download the app now.
Welcome back. In more news, Chief Nyampande of the Nsenga-speaking people of Lusangazi district in Eastern Province has encouraged fish farmers to continue growing fish despite poor harvest. His Royal Highness says fish farming is a business that needs to be taken seriously by local farmers as the country experiences fish deficiency. Chief Nyampande expressed happiness that local people have realized the importance of growing fish at their doorsteps. The project was funded by Zambia Integrated Land Forest Project ZIFLP. The project, Chief Nyampande said this at Mukanshinzula Cooperative in Matonga area of Lusangazi district. However, government is disappointed that only 950 of the fish out of 6,000 fingerings was harvested. Here's a report.
Fish farming is a business that has attracted farmers to grow fish in their respective localities, but comes with its own challenges. Farmers here are anticipating huge harvest after growing 6,000 fingerings, but their expectations was cut short after recording poor harvest. And Chief Nyampande of the Nsenga-speaking people of Lusangazi district in Eastern Province has encouraged fish farmers to continue growing fish despite poor harvest. His Royal Highness says fish farming is a business that needs to be taken seriously by local farmers as the country experiences fish deficiency. Meanwhile, Chief Nyampande is disappointed with the company that supplied fingerings for recording poor harvest. Chief Nyampande was speaking this at the Mukanshinzula Cooperative in Matonga area of Lusangazi district.
We have all heard about fish deficit in this country, and so we thought that we'd embark. So to the community, this project is not just a project, but to them it's an addition to their livelihood. You may want to understand that we only get one chance in a year to grow our food, so such an activity allows them, the community, to earn an additional income. By the way, it was a ZIFIL project under climate change and climate protection. So for us, it's a very exciting project. It's quite clear. Look, we had expected that we would harvest about 120,000 per pond, but it looks like from various activities we'll be likely to even realize a quarter of that. So if you were to look at the numbers purely, yes, we have failed. It is not what we expected, but the project is still here. Talk, maybe change the supply of the fingerlings.
Both Petauke and Lusangazi district commissioners are not happy with the development.
Today we're doing the harvest. We are disappointed from the way we've harvested, because our anticipation from each fish pond, we were supposed to get at least a good quality of about 5,000 fish. But it did not come out to our expectation, and we are urging our friends from Ministry of Fisheries to do us a very good report, because this project was funded under ZIFIL, and the cooperative now is weaned out. Now for them to raise money to start afresh with the fish pond, it will be quite a challenge.
The harvest is not impressive. We shall have to go back to the drawing board and see where this problem could have arisen from.
Msanzala Member of Parliament Elias Idaka says he will use part of Constituency Development Fund (CDF) to help fish farmers recover their loss.
See how best we can now support this using Constituency Development Fund, so that the community or the cooperative continue to strive to benefit from CDF. Yes. And looking at the results, the results are not 100% good, but as time goes on, I think we can improve on that one.
And the Mukanshinzula Cooperative Chairperson Felix Mwanza says the cooperative is expected to employ local people on permanent basis to run the project. Reporting Aine Sakala, Lusangazi District, Eastern Province.
In other news, General Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist President Ted N. Wilson is set to make his first official visit to Zambia ever since he became president over a decade ago. Dr. Wilson, who prefers to be called Elder Wilson, will be in the country from January 27th to February 5th, 2023, to familiarize himself with the work of the church. Southern Zambia Union Conference President Vani Munyumbwe disclosed during a joint press briefing at Lusaka Conference on Sunday that the worldwide church leader, among other activities, will pay a courtesy call on the Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, at State House. Dr. Munyumbwe reiterated that the church is committed to continue supplementing government's efforts in uplifting the lives of citizens through the provision of quality education and health care. Dr. Wilson will visit some notable Adventist-affiliated institutions such as Rusangu University in Monze and Duka Adventist Hospital in Western Province.
We are waiting for the President of the General Conference of the Seventh-day Adventists, Teddy Wilson, who will be visiting Zambia from January 27th to February 5th, 2023. The goal of the visit really is for him to familiarize himself with the operations of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the country. He's coming from the U.S., where the headquarters of the church is based, and he's going to be arriving at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport on February 27th at 1440 hours. On the 31st of January, he will pay a courtesy call on the Republican President at State House. He will also take some time to inspect church institutions and infrastructure in Lusaka, Copper Belt, Central Zambia, Central Province, Southern and Western provinces. Then on the 4th of February, we are going to meet in the Heroes Stadium, all Seventh-day Adventist members in Lusaka, as well as other nearby places, and many other people. And you are welcome again to join us on that very special day. By the way, the President of the country will also be in attendance during that worship service, and a number of other dignitaries. We will continue as a church to supplement the efforts of government in terms of development and touching the lives of people. We have a very serious focus in issues of education as well as health. Many of you know we run a number of clinics, hospitals around the country, as well as schools. One of them being Rusangu University, that has become a household name now in the country. We are also resolute in our commitment to promote good morals, spiritual values in the country, so that we have responsible and upright citizens. I often say that the greatest capital of any nation is its people. When you have people who are righteous, and people who have good morals, and people who are accountable, who feel accountable to God, those are the people who you count on to have no tolerance, even for corruption that we are talking about.
And finally, in our news. Meanwhile, Northern Zambia Union Conference President Dr. Tommy Namitondo has disclosed that the General Conference President, Pastor Ted Wilson, will spend his first Sabbath in the country on the Copper Belt at Copper Belt University Multipurpose Hall in Kitwe. According to the President's itinerary, he expected to recommission Radio Maranatha in Kabwe at Midlands East Zambia Conference offices after his visit to South Zambia Conference, where he will hold meetings with conference officials and Rusangu University. Pastor Wilson will spend his last Sabbath in Zambia with Lusaka-based and surrounding areas church members on 4th February at National Hero Stadium before his departure to Kenya on Sunday, February 5th, 2023.
Pastor Ted Wilson is coming to Zambia to have the usual itinerating programs in this time in the SID. Obviously, he'll be in Zambia, he'll be in South Africa as well. But for Zambia, he is arriving on the 27th of January 2023 in Lusaka. And then after his arrival, then he'll take a rest on Sabbath 28th. He'll be on the Copper Belt to worship with the members of the Copper Belt Conference. And others that are near, that will be on 28th on Sabbath at Copper Belt University Multipurpose Hall. And then he will go back to Lusaka, and on 29th, I think he will relax on 29th, and then on 30th, he will be meeting church workers in Lusaka, and those are around there. On 31st, he will be in the morning in South Zambia conference in Monze and Rosango University in Monze. Then the following morning, on 1st February, he will be in Kabwe, Midlands East Conference, and the commissioning of Radio Maranatha in Kabwe. Then on 2nd, which is a Thursday, he will be in West Zambia Conference in Mongu. And then in Mongu, you also meet the king there in Mongu, and later on go to Kalabo, to Yuka Mission Hospital, and come back the same day. And on Friday, he'll take a rest. Sabbath 4th, he'll be worshipping with people around Lusaka and all those that are able in the nearby places to come to Lusaka on 4th. And then on 5th, he will end his journey in Zambia and fly to Kenya, where he will continue his mission in Africa. So that will be the itinerary. It's quite packed.
That story brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, here's a recap of stories that made headlines. Continuous rains in Lusaka leave Kanyama drainages blocked as residents endure floods. Government on course with digital national registration process. Traders outside Soweto Market endure rains. GC President Dr. Ted Wilson set to visit Zambia. This ends the news on Hope Channel Zambia, television that changes lives. I've been your anchor, Emmanuel Ryan Daka, and my sign language interpreter has been George Kalimko. For me and on behalf of the entire news team at Hope Channel Zambia, it's bye-bye for now.